What's going on, beautiful beings and conscious co-creators? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Today's video is going to be a pick a card, and we're just going to be discussing advice for your spiritual journey. Some of you guys are in your almost kind of like an initiation process within your spiritual life, where things are just starting to not make sense but then make sense at the same time, and you're in this really juxtapositioning role where you see light and dark, good and bad, and you're just, some of us have a lot of questions during those times. So I'm here to provide you with a little bit of advice, a little bit of guidance. This is something that resonated with me to do, and yeah, so first things first, I need you to pick a tile or pick a group. We have group 1, we have group 2, and we have group 3. This is a oracle reading only, something that I'm trying differently here. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what Spirit has for you guys and the messages that are going to be said. So go ahead and pick. My timestamps are in the description box as always. So once you select your group, hit the go down to the description box and click your timestamp. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with group 1 as always, but I will see groups 2 and group 3 at your timestamp. Okay, let's go. All right, what's going on in group 1? Again, I am here to talk to you about what advice do I have and what advice does Spirit have for you guys on your spiritual journey right now. I think this is such a perfect read for the beginning of the year. We all know that this is not technically the new year. The new year starts in April, but this is still the season and the energy in which we can start setting goals and being more intentional about our goals. So we're going to go ahead and pull some cards. Actually, I'm going to pull from these first, even though I have these in my hand. I'm feeling pulled towards these. So what do we have for group 1? Advice for their spiritual journey. What advice do we have for group 1, please? Warrior woman. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, or Yeshua, and sisterhood of the rose. Okay. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, so group 1, some of you guys, what I'm seeing is you're meant to be a leader. You're meant to lead. And specifically other women, I feel like you already kind of realize that you have a certain influence about you that draws and attracts other women, younger women, older women, women of a certain frequency. And you are a leader through and through. And so I think right now the advice is really beginning to learn to explore what that looks like in your day-to-day life. Being a leader, and particularly a leader of women, a leader of divine feminine energy. I think that um, when you start to, I think what's happening is you're kind of already being met with opportunities, and maybe some of you guys are turning them down, or maybe you just, not even seeing the opportunity that's in front of you. Usually, when that happens, it's because our ego is coming in and blocking that blessing or that opportunity out of fear or concern. So we kind of turn it down because it's new to us or uncertain to us, but nonetheless, it is an opportunity that's going to keep presenting itself because this is something that is a part of your destiny, and it's a part of something that you're meant to experience in your spiritual journey. So, yeah, I see you being a leader amongst women, specifically Group 1, and I think that there are people in your life that you can even speak over. And when I say speak over, I am talking in the sense of being a teacher or a spiritual worker in some sorts, a root worker for some of you guys. So, like I said, I feel like now is a good opportunity to start learning about your craft because you already knew you were a natural born leader. Warrior Woman right here is telling me you already knew. Let me show you the cards. You already knew that you were a leader. Okay, you knew that you were meant to be in front and not behind. Some of us come here and we are leaders, some of us come here and we are followers. And I would like to normalize not criticizing or trying to look down on people who are meant to just support and meant to follow. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And this year I'm going to start using my channel and my readings specifically to speak on people who are meant to serve because there is so much power in being in positions of servitude. Okay, so everyone has a role. Everyone needs to play their role in order for the connective body to function. You're going to have arms, you're going to have legs, you're going to have a neck, you're going to have feet. In every single role, whether we identify it as being an important part or not an important part, it needs to work effectively in order to function as one. And so every single role that all of us come here to play, it matters to some extent. So, but yeah, you specifically, your role is leadership, and so advice for right now is to basically, take the opportunity to start learning your craft. Take the opportunity to start sitting with other leaders. In fact, one thing that you can also do is put yourself in a place of servitude so that you can understand what to look for, what to seek and attract when the time is ready and you're in your season to start growing your sisterhood of the rose. This is a future card right here, sisterhood of the rose. So that in the front is you, and those are the servants. Those are the people behind you. Those are the people that are there that are going to make sure that you are carrying out your mission. Okay, this is absolutely necessary as a leader. You need people, strong, solid people behind you that are going to see your mission, respect your mission, and help you carry it out. Every great person had people behind them that supported them, supported the cause and the mission. So, yeah, so placing yourself in their shoes so you can understand how to be a great leader and not one that is going to become resenting. That is super important. And yeah, I just feel like, and this is even saying Anna, grandmother of Jesus, is laying foundations and divine plans. So this is the time for you to start, kind of growing in this leadership role. So some of you guys are like, well, I'm gonna click on this video because I don't really know what my purpose is. I'm feeling like, I'm called to this different type of life, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that is. Well, first of all, it's divine, so even if you don't understand what it is, it's going to keep presenting itself to you in some sort of way. But your advice for right now is what I'm saying is definitely we want to get you in a position where you can start learning what it means to be a leader and how to lead. Because there's nothing worse. Well, I'm using that loosely, but you can put yourself in a lot of really, really undesired positions by jumping into a leadership role prematurely. So this is an opportunity really for you guys to start studying what it looks like to be a leader, what it looks like to lead, how to, just kind of start looking at people who you identify as being great leaders in the past, and just do a little bit of research and study on them, like how they spoke, their mannerisms, how they carried themselves, advice that they have for people, so on and so forth. Candle, elimination. That's funny. We'll pull from the top. Feathers, message. Yeah. You guys, are, advice for your spiritual journey right now is, I think it's about being open to what's in front of you. Okay, some of you guys are choosing to walk in darkness. Some of you guys are choosing the path of confusion because the path of truth is very unsettling for you. And so some of you guys are like, I'm just really like, I don't understand. I'm very confused right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, or it's just I just see question marks when I'm tapping into some of you guys' place and frequency right now, and it's just like it's a lot of question marks, it's a lot of uncertainty. I think that when you begin to open yourself up for all possibilities as far as messages Spirit has for you, Feather's message, and not judging them so much, but being open to them, I think a lot of you will find some clarity, which would be the light that we're speaking of here. Some of you are very divinely intuitive, and the thing is, you weren't really taught, or you never really gave yourself the opportunity to learn how to just follow your intuition, how to ask questions and allow your higher self to answer them. And so because of that, you are you're looking for answers really in all the wrong places, and it's keeping you really in darkness. Elimination means to, kind of seek truth, sit and wait for the answer, and receive divine guidance. And a lot of that is going to entail you doing none of the things that you've been doing when it comes to learning something new. Typically in our spiritual journey, what you want to always make sure you do when you take the advice of others, myself included, you want to make sure that it resonates within your soul, your higher self. Never take what someone's saying for complete truth. You always want to kind of keep in mind that no matter what they're saying, no matter who they are, no matter how popular they are, no matter who's backing them, you always want to make sure that what they're saying resonates with your soul. And if it doesn't, then begin the process of trying to understand why. Because I want to point this out. This age of Aquarius that people are speaking so much on, what's been revealed to me, group one, is that there's also going to come with the age of enlightenment, there's going to be the age of mass manipulation and scammers, essentially. People who are going to present themselves as false prophets, people who are going to position themselves as essentially frauds, people who are not really dedicated to what they're saying they're dedicated to. So, your third eye really will need to be open. You will need to be able to decipher and discern who is actually speaking truth and light and who is actually setting you up to walk down the path you're not meant to. So I want you guys to really begin to exercise your spiritual eye. I want you guys to really begin to start seeking truth, and not just truth that makes you feel good, but truth that makes you feel even a little, uneasy, because sometimes in that uneasiness you begin to learn stuff about yourself, you begin to heal things within yourself. So I think now is the time for you, and then right now in your spiritual journey, to start kind of mentally doing deep dives. And I want to say, when you do deep dives, one, what is a deep dive? A deep dive is basically you sitting in a place where you're comfortable, you're in a meditative state, which means you've sat and you've kind of done your breathing exercises and you've gotten your brain to a place where it's slowed activity. Once you get to that place, you want to start asking questions and going down rabbit holes and questions that you would ask yourself are, about your life, about your childhood, about previous relationships, and how you feel about that, about your religion, about your culture, about your parents. Like, ask yourself these questions that we don't really think about on our day-to-day basis because we're so distracted. And find the parts that make you uneasy. And I want you to, one, allow yourself to sit in that for a second, and then ask yourself, why am I feeling uneasy? Where we want to start locating the sources of pain. The reason why it's important for you, group one, to do that is because as a leader, one, you have to be able to strengthen your mental state so that if for whatever reason you do find yourself in a position of being attacked, you would have already worked through all of that. Age of Aquarius, we're no longer just attacking people physically. We are attacking mental state. You know why? Because technology has revealed something very important, which is that people are very, 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 very brittle when it comes to mental states, okay? And that is a collective issue, frequency, collective issue. So when you strengthen your mental state and you are able to purposely raise yourself to a higher frequency in which words and intentions of harm verbally do not affect you, you are that much of a stronger leader. So all of this is going back and playing into your purpose of leadership. So I hope that is something that resonates with you. I'm going to keep pulling. I'm going to grab this deck over here. Cards just exploded, but I'm going to take the two that actually landed quite nicely on the table. All right, so we have Choose Your Battles, Group 1. Choose your battles. Sorry, my light's in the way. There we go. Choose your battles. And we have Rest and Reconsider. So what I'm seeing right here is some of you guys are very feisty. Some of you guys carry this energy of Lilith where, that's a word right there really quickly. I don't know if you guys have seen the video I did with the story of Lilith, but it's so funny because that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling where you guys have this like natural protective stance when it comes to young women or women in general, and then young people, children, really. There's a protective nature about yourself. And so you are probably the person that people would consider outspoken, a person who kind of stands up for other people who you feel cannot stand up for themselves. You're probably very vocal on social media, feeling the need to express yourself and explain yourself to other people. Discernment is going to become a real task for you, Group 1, because you are needing to you need to start making active decisions, is how I'm going to put that. You need to decide, for this card specifically, Choose Your Battles, you need to decide what is worth it, what is worth your time, and what is not, because you need to start learning to spend your time and utilize your time more wisely. What happens particularly on social media, and I really only see this in social media, not so much in regular people's like actual life, but on social media you will have sections or subsets of people who their only intention is to cause disruption, to cause divide. Their only intention is to kind of expel negative parasitic energy. There's nothing positive that's going to ever come from interacting with this type of person online. And I need you guys to really settle into that statement. And when you do, you will realize that learning and caring specifically about where you spend your energy, what you give your attention to, what you are allowing to consume your time, when you start caring more about that, I find that you'll begin to realize that you feel a lot lighter, because you're kind of going to just start to expect, when I get on social media, first thing that I'm maybe going to get hit with is the BS. But then at the same time, you're going to say, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm not going to let it bother me anymore. Or, hey, you know what? They said something and I kind of feel triggered by what they said. But instead of me responding to that person and giving them any sort of time or attention, which is what they truly thrive. They're parasites. They thrive on attention. They need that. They need the attention. So instead of giving them that, you say, you know what? I was upset about that. Let me go sit with myself real quick and figure out why. That is the difference. That is the difference between being a conscious creator and someone who's just kind of going through the movements and just being reactive all the time. We got to learn to be better than that. And then rest and reconsider. Like I said, this is not the time for you to do a lot of actions as well. So, I mean, this is another card that's coming in and kind of reinforcing that statement of you guys need to chill out, basically. This is a time for you to pick up some books, to start doing some studying, to start going internal with yourself. This is not the time to go out there and start, finding your sisterhood group. We're not doing that right now. This is in the future. But right now, this is about you going inward, you taking the time to rediscover who you are, what it is that you really agree with outside of what you were taught, but like really thinking about, what resonates with me. Super, super important, group one. Super, super important. These are advice cards. I actually love these cards so much. I call them my homework cards whenever I utilize them in readings. We're just going to see what they have for you guys. What do you have for group one? Thank you. I'll take that one too. Usually I don't do two, but we're going to do it today. This one says, I love and approve of myself. Ashe, could that not be a more appropriate card? As you're going through your journey, as you're going through the introspection process is what I'm referring to, as far as going inward, sitting down, finding a safe space, not only in your environment, but also within yourself. And how you find a safe space within yourself is you just constantly meditate to yourself, even chant out loud, I am your safe space. Everything that you say, everything that you feel is okay. It's okay. Just tell yourself that. Once you start to establish that safe space, you can start being more and more honest with yourself, and not judgmental. Okay, because you understand judging yourself in a negative fashion gets you really nowhere. It just makes you feel like shit at the end of the day. But anyway, it says, I love and approve of myself. Okay, back of the card says, and this is your homework part, so this is something that you can actually really meditate on, group one. It says, in what ways am I compassionate to myself and others? How am I living life according to my own terms? In what ways am I compassionate to myself and others? How am I living life according to my own terms? Again, what I was just telling you guys about going back and relearning and unlearning, like what makes sense to you and what doesn't, and using that concept of like it needing to be in your own terms, using that as like the requirement. So like when you think about like what you were taught culturally, what you were taught religious wise, what you were taught just from your family, and going back and saying, I know that they said this, and that, and I know that I'm supposed to feel this, and that, but how do I really feel? And give yourself the permission to go down that rabbit hole. It's okay, Again, this spiritual journey shit is not for the faint of heart. Because truth be told, it's a lot easier. Listen to this. It is a lot easier to let someone else tell you how to live your life. It's a lot easier to do. Okay? This card says, I am not limited by others' perceptions of me. I am not limited by others' perceptions of me. Both of these are words. Like I said, you guys are feisty. So these cards are coming in and they're really beginning to challenge that. Just because you don't say anything back to that person doesn't mean that what that person said is right or validated. It means that you may have just decided, you know what, you're not worth my energy. And that's okay. That is okay. Back of the card says, when was the last time I let someone else influence decisions that only impact me? What can I do to loosen their hold on me? So, I have another, one more set of cards. I'm just going to see what these cards say. Maybe just pull one or two. I'm going to pull from the middle. Card comes up as compromise. It's also, I want to say, very important that we learn how to balance what we want and what we need. I want to say some of you guys may be experiencing a resistance towards discipline. And so for those of you guys who maybe resonate with what I just said, if you're feeling some resistance towards discipline, maybe now is a good opportunity for you guys to start introducing that without feeling like you need to give up what you were doing. So for example, I use food because it's the easiest thing that I can think of. So basically, if you, let's say you really like to eat sweets and you know sweets are not healthy for you, right? Instead of you going into this thought process of, well, I'm just going to stop eating sweets, but before I do that, I'm just going to eat a big bag of Skittles real quick. Like, instead of doing that, maybe just allow yourself to compromise. Like, compromise with yourself. Say, I really like sweets, but I know sweets aren't good for me, and I may be having some side effects that are affecting myself physically, mentally, or spiritually because I'm eating that processed sugar. So what I'm going to do is compromise, and I'm only going to have a bag of Skittles once a week instead of 5 times a week, or I really like to eat out. I like to overindulge. I like to eat really, really nice, fancy foods. But instead of doing that once a week, maybe do it once a month. So there's a way that you can compromise with yourself so that you're not necessarily paying the heavy price of staying in a low vibrational state, because we have to also keep in mind, and this is a word for myself too, so please, these words sometimes are for me as well. But we have to keep in mind a lot of this food that we're consuming is designed to keep us in a low state and frequency of vibration. And so we really need to, in 2022, start normalizing eating fruits and vegetables and eating them in their raw state as well. So, yeah. That's the message I have for you guys, Group 1. If this message, if anything that I said resonated with you, Ashe, I'm so grateful for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and go to your sister group, Group 2, but I will see you guys in my next video. Okay? Bye. What's going on, Group 2? Welcome to your reading. Once again, we are talking about what spiritual advice do I have, what spiritual advice does Spirit have for you right now. All right, we're going to jump into it. I'm going to use this deck to start out with right now. This is what I'm called to do. So let's go ahead and just ask, what advice spiritually do we have for Group 2, please? What advice do we have for Group 2? Please let the cards come out that need to be shown to Group 2. Spiritual advice. All right, I'm going to take one from the top. Is there any other cards? Is there any other cards? No? All right. Ashe. Group 2. Sorry about that if you heard my phone going off. Group 2, we have spells, alchemy. Some of you guys, spiritual advice is to start doing some deliberate manifestation, which is what I consider spell work to be. Deliberate manifestation, deliberate, intentional creativity, as far not creativity, but being an intentional creator. Sometimes you can use other resources to get what you want. So that includes, money work, that includes health work, that includes relationship work, all of that. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with protecting or reinforcing or calling on, other spirits to assist and guide you. I will say that in the realm of this, you definitely want to make sure you know what you're doing, and you want to make sure you know who you're working with. If you are, taking on the help of an actual practice, like if you are requesting the help of a practitioner, want to make sure that you just again, there's a lot of, oh, I didn't tell you guys, I'm saying again, like, you know what I'm talking about. We had a little discussion in group 1 about the age of Aquarius, and I actually may just say this for each group, but what has been revealed to me is that the age of Aquarius, although it is the period of enlightenment, it's also the period and age of a lot of scamming and a lot of false prophets, people positioning themselves and making themselves seem one thing when while they are completely the other. And as we are uncovering more and more, just kind of false, like advertisement and, just like the fakeness of it all, right? As we're uncovering that, they're still coming in the droves. So I just want you guys to kind of keep that in mind, that as you are working with people or soliciting services from people, especially in the realm of spirituality, because for some reason, I'm not even surprised, but I mean, I think I'm surprised mostly about how quickly this has happened since the shift a couple of years ago. But I'm just surprised at how quickly this has happened. But the spiritual community as a whole, I just feel like is kind of under attack in a lot of ways. People see what people are looking, and it's not really just people, it's also like parasites and non-humans, but they are looking at the spiritual community and they're seeing a lot of people who are just kind of starting to wake up and realize what's what. And while at the same time they're waking up, a lot of these people are vulnerable. I mean, when you are starting your spiritual journey, your spiritual initiation, you are very vulnerable and susceptible. You're almost like a newborn all over again. And if you have the wrong caretaker, you can get seriously hurt, just like a newborn could. And so, I implore you guys to start, if anybody ever had a question about what's the first thing to do in your spiritual journey, is learn and master the art of discernment, because that is going to be your flashlight in what can appear to be a very dark world, okay? So anyway, I don't want to go on a tangent. I'm going to start incorporating like podcast segments on this channel just to talk, but that was a word for you guys. I didn't even say that last part in group 1, but for you guys specifically, because this card was pulled, I feel compelled to caution you that this is not something that everything that glitters ain't gold, basically. So just because they say they're a spiritual practitioner, just because they say that they can do spell work, just because whatever it is, doesn't necessarily mean that. And we have to learn to stop taking things for what people say, but to learn to discern what feels right and what doesn't. So anyway, but yeah, I see some of you guys kind of walking towards this journey of spell work. And, if that's something that you're interested in, I would, like I said, do some research, look up some information, meditate specifically. I feel like that's super, super, super important. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from that. But those things, those examples that I gave you guys earlier about the types of spell work that you can do, um, it's very real. Despite what people say, it's very real. So if there's something that you're interested in, I would definitely implore you to do some more research. So yeah, what else for group 2 from this oracle deck, please? I'm pulling from the top again like I did in group 1. Starseed, what lights you up? Okay. Protection. And deep replenishment. Okay. So let me switch this around. I like my cards to touch each other, the ones that are similar. So yeah, interesting. All right, guys, I am so sorry. I had a bit of an interruption. So yeah, I ended up getting a little distracted. So I'm back. I actually don't know where I left off at, but what I am gonna do is kind of sage the space again, just so we can refocus, or really so I can refocus. So we're gonna sage this space again. Let's sage myself. Okay. Oh. All right, I'm ready. So we're gonna just start over from when I first pulled these cards out, because I know I read this one, but let me discuss this over here. So what I see here with Starseed, well, first and foremost, we had Starseed, we had protection, and then we had deep replenishment. Those are the 3 words that cards that came out. So with Starseed, that I'm seeing that basically you guys are different, and I think you guys kind of overstand that at this point. Like, you're different, you think differently, you've always thought differently. Some of you guys identify as being the black sheep of your family or your friend circle, friend group, whatever. And really it's just because you're not really from here. And I know that may be something that you kind of think is like far-fetched or ridiculous or whatever, but that's part of being in this spiritual initiation, the spiritual journey, this new journey that you're taking, you're trekking on, is that sometimes you're going to hear things that just sound completely crazy, and you're going to just reject it off the concept of like what you were ever taught about anything to do with anything, like aliens aren't real. And then you kind of realize, like, well, no, they actually are. But like the first time you hear that, you immediately go into rejection status. Well, that's what some of you guys have been doing. And this card is coming in specifically, and it's like I'm seeing that this is serving as a reminder of your past. So we have past, present, and future here. So this is kind of coming in, and it's just like, remember who you are, remember where you came from, remember that you are not like other people. And so when you begin to kind of remember that, and you kind of start going backwards, you'll start to realize like your differences, like the difference between you and most people, that's actually your strength. That's not your weakness. You were always taught to feel like that was a weakness, that you needed to fix yourself in some sort of way, but really you're meant to be different, because you're meant to see things different, because when the time comes for you to utilize your strength, you're the one that's going to break out of the box and come up with these solutions that are just like, oh my God, thank you so much. We didn't even think about that. It's the difference. There's the people who think differently who kind of shake up society the most in a good way. Okay, so I want you guys to start doing some exercises in which you start to remember where you come from. A lot of that can come from meditating and getting yourself into a position in which you are tapping into that divine feminine energy. And this doesn't have to necessarily be for a man or a woman per se, but that divine feminine energy is how you can connect to your Akashic records, and you can start to remember where you came from, who you were, the life you had, and all of that other stuff. So, you know, take the journey into discovering, or take the steps really into trying to remember who it is that you are. There are also some very, very gifted readers who specialize in being able to tell you information about your past life. So again, if that's something that you're interested in, not even something you're interested in, it's just something that you are interested in. I already know that, but I'm saying, if, sorry if you guys can hear that very loud truck. It's a construction zone where I am, so I'm sorry if you guys hear that in the future as well. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. But anyway, if utilizing a reader who can tell you more about your past life is something that you're interested in, I would, definitely suggest doing something like that. But then we have protection. And as you kind of are going into remembering who you are, you begin to have this sense of understanding how sacred some of the belief systems that, you and people that are from where you're from have. Protection comes in because, there's a little bit of gatekeeping that needs to happen here. I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this on this platform. I was about to say something, and I don't mean to say it I don't mean to bring it up in the way of like trying to tease you, but I had to like stop myself. I know that that's not going to go over well. I really may need to find some other site to like do other deeper readings, because not everything belongs on YouTube, and that's something that I have learned to understand. But this right here, as you are beginning to learn who you are, and as you are understanding that you're not the black sheep, you're actually the mystic. You're not the black sheep. You are actually the visionary. So when you're going through that, you're going to learn to become more protective over your abilities and your skills. You're not going to necessarily be so open to other people. You're not going to allow people to just, say these things about you. So so I want you guys to become gatekeepers, basically, when it comes to your spiritual process. Super important group too. Some of you guys are allowing people to walk over you in your life, and you've got to stop letting them do that. You don't have to say anything to them. You don't have to say, hey, stop doing that. You don't have to do that. But what you do need to start doing is creating boundaries. And if you want to remove someone out of your life without explaining to them why, then do that. That's fine. Don't let people make you feel any kind of way, and don't let people tell you you can and cannot do this, that, and the other. You can absolutely do what it is that you want to do, because not only are you a creator, but you're a star seed. You're not even from here. So you don't have to play these rules the way that other people do. These people, honestly, like, there's a whole different language that you speak that they can't even comprehend. They can't even begin to comprehend. So stop playing down to their level and rise up and protect yourself, protect your space, protect your strengths, protect your vision, protect your ability, all of that stuff. I need you guys to start gatekeeping. I need you guys to start creating boundaries. This is a card that exudes boundaries. No, you can't call me that. No, you can't come over at this time. No, you can't ask me of this, that, and the other. No, the answer is no. No, I won't do you a favor, even though I'm good at it. No, like, learn to start shutting things down, okay? And then what to look forward to in the future. This is almost like a purge. This is a purge. This is for here you go. Spell work, right? This right here, you can start working on soul tie removals. You can start working on cord cutting, basically meaning you basically cut toxic relationships out of your life. There's spell work for that. So, and honestly, you know what? This is something that I was inclined to do on my channel anyway, or at least in some capacity for people. If a cord cutting ceremony or ritual is something that you're interested in, and again, cord cutting is basically setting up a process in which you symbolically cut the toxic people out of your life. If that is something that you're interested in, let me know. Like, leave a comment in the comment section or something, or hit me up on Instagram. And yeah, I may set up something to do that. I've done a cord cutting before. I've done a few of them actually before, and they have yielded really great results for not only myself but other people that I've done them for. It's just not something that I advertise, but I do think that that's something that I want to do in the future. Again, if that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that that resonates with you, a cord cutting ritual, let me know that you're interested. I understand maybe some people don't want to leave it in the comment section, but message me on Instagram. My Instagram handle, I changed it again. I'm an Aries. This is what I do. I changed it to actually, and it's I have a Gemini and Venus too. So again, I'm real like finicky like that. But my Instagram handle at the time of this recording is her pretty little head on Instagram, and you'll understand why I name it that, but it's her pretty little head. I'll probably put it in the screen somewhere, but yeah, hit me on Instagram and let me know if that's something that you're interested in, because I don't mind doing that. But anyway, my point of saying all this is that once you do that, you end up here where you find yourself in deeper punishment, and you find yourself really being able to, you know, find peace within your environment, peace within your ecosystem, really, because you're gonna clean house. This is cleaning house, and then you know how, like, after you do a real deep clean on your house and your house smells so good, and you just want to like sit on your couch and just like look out the window with a glass of tea and just like relax because you've done a whole cleaning of your entire house. Like, that's what you're doing, but for your life. Imagine what that would feel like for your actual life when you get rid of all those dusty, toxic people, those narcissistic, manipulative people, that ex-boyfriend who just only wants to bring drama into your life, that best friend who only cares about herself, those family members who only want to mooch after you. Just imagine what that feels like when you remove those people out of your life and you're able to just take a deep breath and breathe in the clear air because you have rid it from the pollution that has been these people and these relationships. Like, I really want you guys to kind of think about that. Really and truly think about that. So now let me see. What else for group 2? Advice on their spiritual journey, please, from this deck. What do we have for group 2, please? Thank you. One fell in my lap. Any other cards for this group? Any other cards for group 2? One more time? No? No more cards? All right. Yeah, I'm getting nothing else, and I don't force the issue. I don't force the cards to come out. So, Take the Lead comes out. Time is not on your side right now. Some of you guys have been feeling this way for a long time. And when I say this way, I mean some of you guys have been feeling like you need to do something. You need to step out of your circumstance. You need to step out of your relationships you're being called higher, but because you're kind of like, I don't really know what that means. I don't really know what that looks like. So it's easy for us to reject the unknown. It's easier for us to condemn what we don't understand. That's the easiest thing for people to do. But remember, you are not like everyone else. And so I really need you to start applying some of this energy of just deciding, you know what, I want better. I want better, and I'm not going to continue to sit here and twiddle my thumbs and wait for better to come to me. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go and attack it with vengeance, okay? And by doing that means, the advice that I've given you, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. You want to definitely card didn't want to go back in. We definitely want to attack that and take action now, not later. I am strong and powerful. These cards I love these cards so much. Usually when I use these cards in readings, they are basically kind of like they serve as homework cards because of the question on the back. So this card for you didn't want to come back, didn't want to go back in the deck, so I pulled it out and it says, I am strong and powerful. The back of the card says, how have I demonstrated strength recently? How did this make me feel? Ashe, can that not be a more important and appropriate card for you guys, group 2? I don't know. I don't know if there's a more appropriate card in that deck. So basically, exude the strength. Basically, this card is saying you are capable, and what we're going to do is we're going to start asking ourselves this question. This is a question for you guys to meditate on, honestly. I'll read it again. How have I demonstrated strength recently, and how did this make me feel? It's important to kind of start doing this introspection process with yourself, where this like analysis of self, where we start to ask ourselves questions like, when was the last time I really did something for me? When was the last time I exuded strength? When was the last time I told someone no, and how did I feel about it? You know, like, start thinking back on those moments. You realize when you were most proud of yourself and when you were not so proud of yourself, and kind of do the self-work there from that point on. And last but not least in this deck, do we have anything for group 2, please? Any specific words? Let's pull this. Here you go. Once again, we are reaffirming this word, be assertive. It's time to start speaking out. It's time to start speaking up for yourself. Not just others, but for yourself. So there you go. That is your reading, group 2. If this reading resonates with you, Ashe, I'm grateful. I know that this may be a possibly shaky video and post edit because I had that interruption, and for that I am very sorry. But yeah, sometimes things just happen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for, clicking on the video. I have so much appreciation for every single one of my subscribers. Thank you guys. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go to your sister group, group 3, but I will see you guys, group 2, in my next video. Okay? Bye. What's going on, group 3? Okay, we are here to talk about what advice do I have and what advice does Spirit have regarding your spiritual journey right now. Group 1 and 2's readings have been absolutely phenomenal, and honestly, there are some messages. I mean, I know this is not customary for readers to do on this platform, but whatever, there are some gems being dropped in both of those readings, so this really wouldn't even be a bad idea to just kind of listen to those readings as well, just like in a meditative state, like, go somewhere, relax, and just listen to what I'm saying, because there are some gems that honestly I feel like all 3 groups could benefit in regarding what I've said. So yeah, I'm just putting you up on notice. So I am very excited to see what the messages are for you guys. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and we're gonna jump into it. Okay, what do we have for group 3? What do we have for group 3, Spirit? What does group 3 need to know regarding their spiritual journey? Any advice that they need to have? I'm gonna move this one. Ooh, see, we are already coming out the gate. That card says mirror. Any other card? Okay, all right. Last card, please. All right, we got one that flipped over. All right. You guys, I am so sorry if you hear whatever that is. What is that, a lawnmower? All right, I'm gonna come back when they go away. Hold on a second. Okay, well, he's done for just a little bit. I can see him out of my window. He's actually mowing the lawn. It is literally 30 degrees outside, but go off, you know? So while he is doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you what cards came out. So first thing is Mirror. The second card is Birthing a New Age. Ooh, Dance with the Life. Or Dance with Life, sorry. Dance with Life is the third card in this sequence. So basically, first things first, Mirror says, who or what is triggering you? And that is really a really good question for, hold on guys. So sorry, hold on. You guys, I think he's gone. And can we shout out to me, please? Can I get a shout out for being patient? Because you guys know I'm an Aries, strong through and through. Patience is not my virtue by any means. So the fact that I sat here is like, I'm really proud of myself. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get back into it. So Mirror comes out first and foremost. And immediately, for you guys, I know this is going to be kind of cliche, but it needs to be said to group three. Group three, you are holding on to some shit, okay? I've talked about this before in a recent video, in a old video, but I am in the process of kind of revamping my channel, so I don't even know if that video is still up, but I will be doing another video about this topic, which is being triggered. Usually when you are triggered by something, and this is not a popular statement, but whatever, usually when you're triggered by something, it's not, so we put so much emphasis on the person that was doing the triggering that we take no responsibility or accountability for ourselves and how we responded or reacted or how we feel emotionally. It is not that person's responsibility to not trigger you. It is your responsibility to identify the trigger and access the source of pain and seek healing from that. Okay, I'm really this dude on this lawnmower. Anyway, so I want you guys to spend some time. Again, this is advice on your spiritual journey. First and foremost, Spirit is saying with this card that now is the opportunity for you to start doing some observing of yourself. So when you find yourself being offended, when you find yourself being, you know, triggered or reactive or responsive to something that someone has said or done that you didn't like, I really hope you guys can't hear it super loud like I can. But when you find yourself in those positions, we need to start learning to detach so much to what is currently happening and learn to observe from a higher place so we can find out what the real source of the issue is. Okay, so it's about what the card's saying. It's Mirror. It's about using those opportunities to hold a mirror in front of your face and hold yourself accountable and say, you know what? Why is this bothering me so bad? Why is this hurting my feelings? Why do I feel so defensive right now? You know? All right, sorry. If I'm pausing, it's because I'm waiting for the guy to go away. But anyway, I'm gonna stop making it about him. Yeah. So it's about holding a mirror up to yourself, and practicing being able to do that before you actually respond to whoever said whatever. Okay, because that matters very little. What matters is that they were able to identify a point of what could reasonably be described as weakness. And if a person can identify a place of weakness for you, your enemy, which is a lot of these parasites on social media, your enemy will use that against you through and through. So instead of being so reactive about, oh, well, you shouldn't say that, you're a bad person, they don't care. Okay, so stop trying to force them to care about something that they are not going to care about. What is more important is that you get to a place where somebody can say something to you and it doesn't faze you at all. That's where you need to be. So that's first thing. First and foremost, go back in your past, find the points that are triggering soft spots or sensitive spots, and I want you to really challenge yourself to work through those points. And if that means that you have to stay off social media or stay away from people who could possibly utilize those moments while you're in the process of healing, then do that. Please do that. Second card, Birthing a New Age. Some of you guys have something brewing in you. something, I mean, this is giving mad, mad, mad Empress energy, okay? Divine feminine energy. Some of you guys are extraordinarily creative. And some of you guys will produce fruit that is like no other. And I really do mean that literally and physically. Some of you guys, it's your kids, whether you have kids right now or your future kids. You have been called to be a vessel for these children. And these children are going to be very, 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 very incredible beings in their own right. And so it is important, kind of like, you know, how biblically speaking, how important Mary's role was, even though it was kind of like minor, but it was so important because of who came from her. I'm not likening you guys to that story, but I'm saying your birth and you being a parent is very important to this child. And so I think one of the reasons why you're having to do some of this self-work, to kind of correct some of the things that are limiting you and limiting your frequency, is not even just for yourself, because who you are is going to impact someone else's life in a major, major way. And so we need you at your best. This is what Spirit is saying. We need you at your best. So you moms out there, you have very incredible children, and your children are looking at you, and there's a place that you need to, kind of live at. There's a frequency that you need to be at in order to be the parent that these kids need from you. And so if that's resonating with you, already, well, it's because you already kind of knew that. But we got to stop excusing ourselves. We got to stop excusing ourselves and allowing ourselves to act out of our character, or allow people to pull us out of our character. We have to understand whose mission is what. And there are some people who literally came here to just cause chaos. I said this in, I think, group 1 or group 2, child, I don't know. That's why I said go back and rewatch the other ones, because they were gems in all of those readings. But you guys specifically, whatever is being, whatever fruit you are bearing, and this could be a child, but for some of you guys, hold on. But for some of you guys, this is also an idea. This is an invention. This is something new. This is innovation. And once again, like I said, even with that, whatever this is that's supposed to be coming from you, brought forth out of you, it's going to require you to be vibrating at a high frequency. And the way you get there is by doing the self-work, by applying self-love, and choosing to be at a place that serves you. Okay, so that's why this work is so incredibly necessary, so that you can get to this place where you can really be that innovator that you're called to be. Okay, and then future card right here, dance with life. Do something to change your energy. You're not supposed to. I'm gonna put it like this. Spirit is coming in. It's telling me with this card that you're not supposed to be here to struggle. Now, some of us come to this lifetime for different reasons, okay? Some of us come to experience different things. Some of us come here to experience homelessness. Some of us come here to experience a lot of suffering. It's my belief system that we all have soul contracts and experience contracts, where we come here to just kind of have certain memories that we can take back, and experiences. So that's why it's so important not to judge other people. One of the reasons why it's so important not to judge other people and their walk. But you guys specifically you did not come here to have to struggle. You did not come here to have to live, check to check, and worry about finances. You guys came here to live freely and abundantly. And so I think that whatever this card is, whatever's supposed to be coming from this card is going to give you this. And so, I just kind of want to point out that some of you guys may be in situations of hardship right now, but just know and meditate on the fact that that is not going to be your life. That is not going to be your life. It's not enough that I feel that way, and it's not enough that Spirit sees it in you. Your task is to see it for yourself and believe it without any difference of sight and mind, like of sight, without anything changing, basically. You have to know that this is truth. It's testing your faith. It's testing your faith. I think the lawnmower person is gone for good, so we're going to move on. So what else for group 3, please? What else for group 3? What do we have for group 3? Any advice for their spiritual journey, their spiritual initiation, and beginning processes? Any advice that you have? I'm going to pull from the top. Pendulum. Okay. Pendulum and crystal ball. Very interesting that you guys will pick both divination exuding cards. Definitely not by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, but pendulum comes in and it's just kind of like, I am still recording. Pendulum comes in and basically it's coming in and it's saying, you know, it's really about what you want to do. Okay, just like I was saying with the dance with your life card here, pendulum is like, you have to believe in it and you have to make the decision to do better. So again, some of you guys maybe have this like issue with procrastination. This card is coming in and saying you really have to make a decision, yes or no. As I said in group 2, time is we take this concept of time for granted, and we really shouldn't, because one, some of us are facing the possibility of having to come back here and relive. Some of us are really ready to go to the next phase, and we can't, and we're staying stuck, and we're upset, and we're kind of irritated or frustrated because we're not moving forward, we're not progressing. But really, it's because their spirit's waiting for a decision for you to make. They're waiting for you to decide what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. Crystal ball is coming in, and it's like, one, I'm seeing grounding work for clarity. Some of you guys really need to kind of step away from the distractions. Some of you guys are kind of distracted already, and you're allowing yourself to be swayed by this, that, and all the above. But really, grounding yourself is going to give you a clear picture of what it is that you're supposed to be doing, how it is that you're supposed to get there, and what even that journey looks like. Like I said, I feel like you guys, group 3, are a bunch of powerful people, but power means nothing if you can't, kind of grip onto it and control it. It's actually quite dangerous. So, I'm seeing this card come in, and it's like, trying to remove yourself from distractions, and like I said in the mirror card, as you're going through that process of acknowledging your triggers and going through the healing, if you need to remove yourself from social media, then definitely I implore you to do that. Or if there's some sort of spiritual retreat that you were kind of thinking about going to or taking part in, this is your card that's saying yes, do that. So anything in the name of clarity is going to be kind of something that you want to follow right now in your specific journey of where you are right now in life. Okay. All right, now we're going to pull from another deck. What do we have here for group 3, please? What do we have here for group 3? Alrighty, we got a few cards. Okay, I'm gonna take all 3 of those. I'm just gonna put that here. So we have New Vitality, we have Seek, and we have Shine. Ashe. Ashe. So first things first, this card comes out and I'm like, yeah, this card makes sense, because I just literally said you guys need to be doing some grounding work. So this is literally someone doing grounding work. So if you were wondering, what does that look like? What is she talking about? Here you go. Some of you guys probably were wondering that. It's seriously, no. I'll do you one better. I'm going to show you. It's you sitting in nature, no shoes on, and trying to just, get back to your roots. especially Aboriginals out there. Like, it's so important that we go back to grounding ourselves, being in nature, no phone, no headphones, listening to what the sound of the wind sounds like, listening to what, the sound of water, the sound of trees and birds, and just completely submersing yourself in nature. We need to start doing more and more of that, especially right now with you guys. Some of you guys are new into your spiritual journey and you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I listen to? This card is saying, seek the answers within yourself. Again, it sounds a little cliche, but it's so true. It's so true. You need to learn how to source the answers from yourself. You have connection to your higher self. It's there. It's established. You just need to sit and focus on that and sit long enough to hear. New vitality is coming in, and this is a beautiful card because it represents for me a new. Like I said, some of you guys are new into your spiritual walk. You're new into your journey, and the possibilities here are really essentially endless. But like I said, definitely something that needs to be channeled, basically, meaning you need to focus in order to produce what it is that you're looking for, in order to experience. Like, I don't want you guys just aimlessly walking around. Some of you guys need to focus on one specific thing, one specific task. And so I gave you your task, really. So that's probably why you were led to this video. But this card is coming in and saying there's so many opportunities once we kind of focus on that thing and we can accomplish it. So if you guys could just set your sights on focusing on tackling your triggers, tackling your traumas, and going through that healing process, if you guys could just focus on that and make that your number one top priority, you guys would do wonders for your children, for the people in your life, and for whatever this creation is, which could be children, like I said, or it could be some sort of invention or new concept or new beliefs, whatever this is. You going and doing the work for yourself first is going to yield tremendous results in that. And then Shine, you were like I said, this card, it's so funny because these cards give similar energy. If you can see, these cards give similar energy. I mean, she's literally kind of in the same pose where it's basically like you're meant to live life freely. You're meant to live life in abundance. And so some of you guys are like, you've always felt like, I know there's something out there for me. I know I was meant to do more than just X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that you're doing, fill in the blank. But I don't know what that is, and I don't know how, and yada, yada, yada. Well, this is your future. So that's why you feel that way, but you don't know how yet. There are so many things that are supposed to happen first, but just know to focus on that desire and be open to the road Spirit is showing you. Be open to that. Don't shut it down, because sometimes we block our own blessing. We really do, Sean. Block our own blessing. And give you guys some homework. What's the homework card for group 3, please? What is it that they need to be thinking about, meditating on, asking themselves? Thank you. My past brought me to where I am. I am proud of that fact. Is there anything in my past that I regret? How can I come to terms with and accept those things? Ashe. So this whole reading, really, I've been kind of emphasizing going backwards and finding the things that you identify as triggers, finding the things that need healing. It's so important that you're able to do that without judging yourself, mainly because even with this card is saying, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing that you need to feel sorry for. Everything that has happened to you has brought you here. So if the best thing you can say to yourself is that I survived that, I am stronger in spite of or because of, anywhere that you can find a place to pat yourself on the back, don't be afraid to do that. There's nothing that you need to be ashamed of as far as what has happened to you in your past. Again, like I said, a lot of us come here just to experience things, and we are taught to have these attachments to the things that have happened to us. We don't have to be attached to them. And oh my gosh. Hold on, guys. He is literally at my window. He's literally at my window. And I would like to mention, not only is it 30 something degrees, but it is like slightly raining right now. So why they are out mowing the lawn, I don't understand. I'm gonna wrap this up really quick. But basically, when you're going through these deep dives into your past and the goal is healing, I want you guys to remember that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I want you guys to think about this question. Is there anything in my past that I regret? And how can I come to terms with and accept those things? Because you don't need to regret anything. There's a lesson to learn in everything, but the energy of regret is unnecessary. Even if you do feel like you were in the wrong, it is unnecessary to have regret. Take it for the experience, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward. The last card I'm going to pull for this reading is coming from this deck. Spirit, what do we have for this deck for group 3? Are there any additional cards in this deck for group 3? Advice on their spiritual journey and where they are, where they need to be focusing on, what they need to do. Any advice? This card right here is where we're ending it off. You guys. Oh, the resistance with this specific reading. I don't know. I'm feeling like there are some forces that, I don't know, just, it makes me feel like I've never had this much difficulty trying to get a reading through. Like I said, there's no reason why these people should be mowing the lawn right now in the rain at 40 degrees weather, and then by my window specifically. They were not mowing the lawn at all in any of the other 2 readings, by the way, that I just did for group 1 and 2. So I just find it very funny that I'm experiencing all of these actions of resistance with your reading. I mean, I just feels like, again, I said this before, you guys are meant to really create something crazy, whether it's actual fruit coming from you in the name of a child, future child, or an invention, but like there's something out there that's trying to block this message. So I hope you guys still receive it. I had to change out my battery because my camera just died, which is crazy because I don't know. I was whatever. The point is that this was the last card, and I'm gonna get this reading done come hell or high water. Okay, so let me make sure my mic is still on. Just checking everything now. It says, listen to your intuition. Like I said, you guys are powerful. You guys are so powerful, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You guys are powerful creators. You can manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. You probably easily manifest things already. And I just want you guys to start living more intentionally and deliberately. Okay, so it's going to start, as I said, with it's really shadow work, essentially. It's really what it is going through and just kind of tackling the things that you've swept under the rug and identifying those and getting to a place where you're healed from that. And I want to say this because sometimes this, you know what, I'm not even going to prolong this video with that because this video has already been long enough, but I'm going to do a video on healing too. I need to write that down so I don't forget, but I want to do a video on, my thoughts on healing from situations and what that can look like, what that can feel like, and how do you know if you've been healed from a situation. We're gonna have a talk about that. I'm gonna start doing some podcast segments. So anyway, but my point though is like I want you guys to think of healing as the name of the game, and going back and addressing those triggers and those traumas and those emotional disturbances that you've experienced in your life. I want you guys to go backwards and tackle those and challenge those, because I don't want that to be something that is affecting your life any longer. And so, keep in mind and remember as you're going through those situations, if you're taking this advice, just remember who you are. Remember that you are strong. Remember that you are powerful. Remember that you are capable of handling everything. And this is one of the things that I was going to say, and I'll end it with this. It was a piece of advice that I had gotten from a shaman that I had sat with and did some ceremonies with. And one of the things that she said to me was, as you're going through your journey, and as you're kind of going through some of these past traumas, she told me this specifically. She gave me the advice. Well, not me specifically, the group I was with. She told us to watch it like a movie. And that was just simply meaning learn how to watch something without being so attached to it, even if it's happening to you. You know, when we go and watch, Mission Impossible, or we go in and watch The Matrix, or I don't know, I'm just thinking of movies, Spider-Man, whatever, you know, how we can watch that movie and we leave the theater and we're like, man, that was a great movie. And we get in the car, we go home, we go about our lives. And not once are we thinking about Spider-Man as a person, but as a character. And not once are we thinking about the storyline as something that actually happened, but just that, a storyline. Something about that really settled well with me as I was going through the exact same thing I'm asking you guys to take on, which is going backwards and thinking about the things that have happened in your childhood and the things that you identify. It doesn't matter what anybody else identifies it as, but what you identify it as. And me being able to watch those things and think about those things and visually play those things back in my head, and reminding myself to watch it like a movie so that so that I'm not deeply affected or attached to it anymore. There's great power in the ability to do that and to make that a skill. So, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to impart that wisdom on someone, so I hope it was received. If anything that I said in your reading today has resonated with you, ashe, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, for rocking with me, for being patient, more patient than I could be as I get it together. But I am here and I am posting, and I look forward to the things that I do on this channel. I hope you are too. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I will see you guys, group 3, in my next video. Okay?